Hey everybody, so I had a request to do a copycat recipe for the chicken gnocchi soup from Olive Garden, so that's what I'm going to do here. We have 1 cup of shredded carrot, 1 cup of chopped onion, 1 cup of chopped celery, 1 cup chopped spinach, 1 cup chopped chicken, 1 teaspoon of garlic, 4 tablespoons of butter, 1/4 cup flour, 3.5 cups of chicken broth. I'm using bone broth, 1 quart of half and half, about 1/8 teaspoon of thyme, along with a half teaspoon of dried parsley, and about a teaspoon of salt, and about 1 tablespoon of olive oil. And finally, 1 package 16-ounce gnocchi, not showed on the screen. So I'm going to use the Instant Pot in the saute mode. I am going to add a little bit of olive oil, and then we'll add the butter and let that melt down, let it get hot. Once that all gets melted down and nice and warm, we will start throwing in our ingredients. First, I'm going to throw in the onions. Those take a little bit longer. You want to get those cooked where they're a little translucent. We'll also throw the celery and the carrots in here shortly as well. Give it a little bit of a stir here. You want to get everything coated. Let's go ahead and we'll throw in the celery. And I'm going to let this cook just a little bit before we add the carrots in. And let's go ahead and add the garlic. Go ahead and give it another good quick stir. We're going to throw the carrots in last because they are finely shredded. I did that in the food processor. And then we'll give it a good stir again, get it covered in that buttery goodness. Then you're going to want to stir this here and there while you're letting it cook down for a couple minutes here. Now we want to add the flour, and we want to get it mixed in really well. After you add in the flour, also let it cook for a couple minutes. Let it kind of build that roux, get in there with the vegetables and the butter. This is going to be your thickening agent. After we gave it some time to get mixed in and everything, now we're going to add the half and half. Some of it's going to stick to the bottom a little bit. This is going to help loosen that up. After you add this in, just scrape the bottom a little bit with your spatula. You're going to get all those little goody bits and everything up into the liquid. Go ahead and let it come up back up to temperature. Let it start thickening up, and then we'll add the broth in afterwards. As you bring it up to temperature, it is going to get thicker, like I mentioned. Just keep whisking it here and there. Don't let it burn. We'll go ahead and throw in the herbs right now, the thyme, the parsley, and the salt. Give that another good mix. Now we can go ahead and start adding the broth. And I'm using a bone broth concentrate. Then again, you're going to want to bring it up to temperature. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and add the chicken, and then I'll add the spinach. The chicken's already been pre-cooked, so I don't want it to be in here for way too long. And the spinach, of course, we just don't want it to overly cook. We want it to cook down, but not become a mush. And go ahead and keep stirring it here for a couple more minutes. Here at the end, we're going to add the gnocchi. This is a store-bought, pre-made gnocchi, 16 ounces. There's a couple of good brands out there you can get. There's only really a couple brands. You can make your own as well if you're adventurous. If you don't like the size of these, you can also cut them down if you wish. But you're going to cook them here for a couple minutes. You'll know when they're about done as soon as they start floating. You're going to see the thickening up. The gnocchi is also floating to the top, so it's pretty much done here. Check the seasoning, make sure it's got enough salt. That's really going to depend on how much salt you have in your broth that you're using. I do use a low sodium, so I did add just a little bit more salt there. But you could also, if you wish, you can cut down on the thyme a little bit. Originally I used a little bit more thyme. I used a half of a teaspoon. It ended up being just a little too strong, so this next time we're using 1/8. We're going to go ahead and get this bowled up. Try to get a little bit of everything in there. You could also add a little more spinach. I think the next batch I do, I'll add a little more spinach as well. I may even add just a little more chicken into it. And the reason I use the Instant Pot is just it's a nice big reservoir to use, so it's got a lot of space and everything. And then you could always garnish this up with a little bit of parsley, something like that. But overall, it's not going to be garnished with much more than parsley if you go to Olive Garden. I do like to clean up my bowl a little bit. I'm a little OCD when it comes to the looks. Garnish it up, and there you go. We have Olive Garden chicken gnocchi. If you like a little bit thicker soup, just add a little bit more flour to it and you'd be good to go. Anyway, I thank you for stopping by. If you'd like to support me, subscribe to the channel, like, comment below. Thank you.